Hey besties, welcome or welcome back.
Today I've got 10 book page DIY crafts for you. I can't wait to get started. For this hack, I'm going to use about 15 book pages. I've got some burlap, I've got a little bamboo wreath from the Dollar Tree, and also some burlap that I already had on hand. I'm going to pull the pages out of the book, and then I'm going to trim off where the edges are uneven. I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to fold them in half, and then I'm going to take the top right corner, fold it over, and the left side, fold it all the way across. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm not going to cut up on the top part there. I turn this around. I'm going to cut like a petal shape. Make sure it stays within that one part. And then open it up and look at that. You end up with a flower. So here I am again. It's folded. I'm just going to cut a petal shape. Open that up and there you go. There's a flower. If you need to go back and replay that, go right ahead. Now I'm going to cut off 3 petals. I'm going to cut off another one that has 2 petals and 1. So you need exactly what is on the screen here. Go ahead and take a screenshot or stop it and write that down. I'm going to take the top of each petal. I'm going to roll it over with my pencil. I'm also going to cut a little bit between the petals just so they're not so, tight. And I'm going to take this one single petal, roll it up. Then I'm going to take the 2 petals, roll it up. I don't hot glue it. You can use any glue you want. And then I'll do the same thing with the 3 petal, and then I'll put them all inside each other. You know, like those little Russian dolls that nest inside of each other? That's basically what's going to happen. I'm just going to roll up everything and leave the 2 full flowers out and until I get done with the other ones. So I will glue them into each other. So right at the end, you might snip a little piece off the end so it's flatter. Go ahead and put the glue on it, put them inside of each other like I'm doing right here. And then when you get to the last 2 full flowers, take the smaller of the 2 if one is smaller, and you're just going to glue right into the center that piece that has all those other pieces. And then you're only going to glue the very bottom of each petal so they can still fold outward. See what I'm doing? I'm just putting it way inside. I'm pushing down and folding the petal outward. I'm going to do the same exact thing with this one. Now, once I have that done, I'm going to need 5 of these altogether for this bamboo wreath. It's a smaller wreath. It's not like a 14-inch. It's probably like a 6-inch wreath, I'm guessing. And there's what the flower looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Then I'm going to take the burlap. I'm going to do the same kind of folding and glue the flower right into the burlap. And then I will also put a little glue on each petal of the burlap, just like I did with the last flower. I'm going to glue the very back of the flower and right to the bamboo wreath, and I'm only going to put them on half of the wreath. These little bamboo wreaths are odd shaped, so pick the way it'll look the best with your flowers and give it more of a round look. I took a little piece of twine, just tucked it through the twine that was already on the wreath, made a knot, and pulled it up, and that's my hanger. That little garland I had from the Target dollar spot, I'm just going to cut off each leaf that I need and put them all around the outside or back of the flower so that you see just a glimpse of it. I'm going to do that for the whole side where the flowers are, and look at that. It's so pretty. Such an easy wreath. I love this one. Let me know what you think.
An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love. No need for presents.
I'm going to take this Dollar Tree house. I recently did a video showing you another hack with those houses. I'll link that down below. I'm going to use my heating tool from Amazon to take that tag off. It really helps a lot with the stickers. And I'm going to use some Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint and my burnt umber apple barrel paint. I'm going to paint the inside and back of the house. I did not need to do the back after all because I decided to cover all the rest with the burnt umber. So now I'm just going to cut the book pages into little teeny pieces and then put some glue or Mod Podge, whatever you want to use, down inside and just start Mod Podging, like going all different directions, all different sizes, and just cover that inside face of the shadow box house. I love doing Mod Podging. It's so fun, and there's so many different ways you can do it. And I think book pages look amazing when you Mod Podge them. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I love having you here, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Okay, now I'm just covering that whole thing in the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to touch up kind of where the corners, where it all meets, the book pages meet the sides. Make sure there wasn't any like white space left, and that just kind of adds to the character of it. I'm also going to dry brush that burnt umber very lightly on the face of this, and just so it looks like that. I've got these little garland pieces from Dollar Tree. Usually use these at Christmas time. If you just take one and wrap it around to fit the size of what you have and twist it, you will have a little mini wreath. And then I took my scissors, gave it a little haircut, which is such a mess, you guys. Oh my gosh, that stuff sticks to everything. Anyway, I'm going to put a little piece of twine in it, and I'm going to hot glue that right to that top peak of the house and hang it. And oh my gosh, this is just such a cute kind of rustic piece. I really like it. I've got these beads that I got on Amazon. They're in my Amazon store too. And they come in all different sizes. And I'm just going to hot glue them. I'm going to keep them in their raw state. And this turned out so cute. You could put this on a shelf, a riser, wherever you want. I love this one.
An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love. No need.
This inspired project, I'm taking that little Dollar Tree sign and a book that I've already read. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to take the beads off, take the little insert off, just using a staple remover to pull out those staples. But they were stubborn, so I had to use my little snips. And I'm going to use my Kills White primer paint. And I'm going to just paint that front of the little, actually it's the back of the little sign, because I'm not going to use the other side. That will be the back. I'm going to take a sharp blade and I'm going to cut down the spine of this book and just get some book pages out. It's just a small paperback. I just wanted one that had a lot of words on it. So what I'm going to do is kind of fold it into thirds and then use the blade again and cut little pieces. So like a third of each page. Then I'm going to take those and I'm trying to put together a little contraption here to roll them and make it easier. Can I just be honest? Nothing made it easier. I bet there's like a quilling tool out there or something that I know nothing about. Wish I had it. But what I did was I just rolled it around this little stem from a faux flower piece I got somewhere. And I'm going to keep rolling those until I have a whole bunch. And what I'm going to do to add to my lemon decor is I decided I'm going to make a cute little lemon and frame it. So once I get a bunch of these little rolled pieces, I cut some of them to kind of shape the lemon. So I want to kind of round it as it gets to the top. And then the bottom also is kind of graduated. And then I'm going to cut a little pieces and make like a stem. Now I could leave it just like this. And it would be in a way the way the inspired piece was where it's just book pages. But I wanted to add some color so it fit with my lemon decor. After I finish gluing everything down with my hot glue, I'm going to take out some Waverly chalk paint. And the first color I'm going to use is maize, so yellow. And then the next color I'm going to use is fern, which is a green. I'm going to put them in the caps of those and water it down by squirting a little bit of water in there. And the reason I'm doing that is I want you to still see the writing on the book pages. And if I use the solid color, you wouldn't be able to see them anymore. So by watering it down, now I just lightly put some on. And I'm going to put yellow, obviously, all over the lemon and green on the stem. But you can still see that they're book pages, and that's what I wanted. I really love using the book pages. I just think that is so cool. It's just a kind of whimsy look, and I really love it. And once that's done and it dries, I will put it back in the frame. But first, I have to finish all my projects off. So what I'm going to do is get out some craft paper and I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it to the back. And I didn't have the perfect size piece, so I just used some scraps, which was fine. Use it all up. Then I will pop it back into the frame and there it is. It's good to go. And now it's going to complement my lemon decor. And I hope you guys like it. So excited about this DIY. I'm using an old book and it's a diet book. What I'm going to do is show you how to fold this to make a book page vase. I'm going to do it 3 times. So you're going to fold the bottom corner up and then you're going to take that whole piece and fold it to the spine. And then that little triangle at the top, you're going to fold over and then tuck it underneath. And you're going to do that every other page. And then try to push it way down because it's going to really need to be pushed down as you go. The next one, you're going to take the top and fold that corner down to the spine. Then you're going to take that bottom right corner and just fold it up to the line of the other fold, and then take the little triangle point and fold it to the end of the paper of the bottom fold. Literally, you're going to do this every other page for the entire book. My book was about 300 pages. So, depending on how big you want this to be, that's how it would go. And I'm not going to show you every page I'm folding, obviously, but I'm going to show you various stages as I go. You can see it's starting to look like a vase. And I wanted to show you that if you didn't want to do a full vase, you could put like on a piece of cardboard or on a frame, you could just do like a half one. And that would be kind of a cool wall hanging. Anyway, I'm also going to link the person who I learned how to do this from. It was from a YouTube video from a lady who mostly does crocheting, but I really loved her technique. So we'll make sure to put a link for that in my description box. And I'm showing you the spine there because you really want to fold that in and get it as tight as possible. I'm using this amazing netted ribbon from burlapfabric.com, and I will have a link down in my description box for this. And I'm just rolling it, literally just rolling it and then kind of looping it as I roll so it's not a tight roll. And then I'm going to cut it off at the end and just turn it into a flower, and it kind of has like a rose-like look. And literally, I made this up. You could just do it any way you want. I just had this idea that it would work. The ribbon does have wire in it, and that's why it's possible to kind of shape it. So once I get that completely shaped and kind of fluffed the way I want, I'm going to take a little piece of jute twine and I'm going to just tie it around the bottom to secure it so that it doesn't fall apart. Next, I'm going to take some burlap that I got at Walmart. I'm just going to cut off a little strip, and I'm going to pull off all of the strings going the long way up to right close to that seam on the other end. And then I'm making this one up too, by the way. I'm just going to roll it and just kind of, roll it back and forth, and maybe a little, twist it a little bit, and literally just kind of make a wildflower looking thing. I'm just trying to make a bunch of really rustic kind of flowers out of the rope and the burlap and that kind of stuff, just to make it, really kind of cool and maybe a little bit vintage-ish looking. Vintage-ish, is that a word? I don't know. I think I made it up. Oh well. So I'm just trimming the top, giving it a little haircut. And then I'm going to take some more of the jute twine and I'm going to wrap it around 4 fingers, like you're going to make either a tassel or a pom-pom. And I think I wrapped it around like 15 times. And then I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to tie another piece right across the middle. And I am actually going to do this twice. And then what I'm going to do is lay them across each other and make a flower that way. Now I'm going to take this really pretty, very thin kind of ombre tone yarn I got at Walmart, and I'm going to wrap it around each petal back and forth across the middle and just kind of give it a little color because I thought that would be fun too. Once I've secured that, I'm going to cut off the excess thread and I'm going to fluff my flower, all the little loops all the way around. I took some flower pieces that I had around and just pulled off really small pieces and hot glued them to the center of some of the flowers that I made using the twine and the burlap. I just thought that would be really fun. And now I'm making another flower, and I actually got this idea from Leah Knepp at DIY Beauty on Purpose. She did this in one of her videos, and I'll link her down below as well, where she pulled out the long threads between the 2 edges, so you don't take it all the way to the edge, but you see how the edges have seams. And then I'm going to take the bottom and hot glue it up to the other edge all the way across the piece, and then I'm going to roll it and hot glue it, and it makes such a pretty flower. And I did want to give her credit for that. Now I'm going to fluff it, and then I'm going to add a little piece of a yellow flower right into the center. And I just love the look that this gives with these flowers to add the color. And I'm just going to add a few more little flowers to the center of this one. And now I'm going to make another one, but this time I'm just going to wrap it around 3 fingers. I think I did 15 times again. And I'm going to tie the middle like I did before. I made 2 of these. And after I'm done, I'm going to actually cut the loops open this time to make a little bit of a different looking kind of a flower. I'm going to lay them across each other like I did with that other flower, and then I'm just going to fluff it out after I hot glue it, and there's that flower. And I'll add something to the center also to give it a little bit of color. I've got this cute little pick of off-white flowers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add those to the center, so it's going to be attached to the inner spine. And then I've got this leftover pick of lavender that I took the lavender pieces off of, and on the ends I'm going to add all of the different flowers that I made out of the burlap and the twine, and that way it'll look like it's coming off of a stem with leaves, and I just love the way that looks. And I'm going to hot glue it into the spine so it stays put. And then I'm going to add those other flowers that I showed you first, and I'm going to hot glue those as well. And that way they won't go anywhere. Now, if you wanted to change this out seasonally, I wouldn't hot glue then. I would just stick them in there and maybe put some tape or something. And now I added 2 different kinds of very sheer ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I just thought that would be very pretty and light. And then I'm going to take this really cute lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree and just wrap it around the center of my little bow. And I just did a very basic, shoestring bow. And I'm going to cut the ends of my bow with dovetails, and that is it. I absolutely love how this turned out, and I'm actually giving it to my mom for Mother's Day because she is quite the avid book reader. I hope you guys like it. DIY, I'm going to be using this cute little sign from the Dollar Tree, and then I took some book pages and I used my Cricut to cut out some little heart shapes. Of course, you can cut these by hand, or if you have like a little scrapbooking punch, you could do that too. And then I also did one red heart with some scrapbook paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is unwrap the plastic on this sign, and then I'm going to turn it over and open up the back. They made this one easy by actually putting little metal pieces you could slide over and pull them out, so I didn't have to like cut anything. And I'm going to take this piece and sand it down. It didn't need much. I don't mind that it's textured. That actually looks pretty cool. And once I do that, I am going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the entire top of this, and I'm going to give it a couple coats to make sure that I cover the words that were on there. I will use my heat tool to dry it, and then I will go ahead and add another coat, like I said, because it really was hard to cover those words, but it worked. I got them covered. The next thing that I'm going to do is take my little hearts and I'm going to fold them right in half. Almost like they were a butterfly in flight, if that makes sense. I'm going to do that to all of them except the red heart. I'm just going to place them on there and kind of decide the positioning that I want. I had seen this on Pinterest, but I kind of modified it to fit what I had to work with. So I'm just figuring out if I need to cut any more hearts or if I have enough. It turns out that I do have enough, and this is where I'm going to place them all. And the way that I'm going to set them on there is using a little bit of hot glue kind of on that pointy side of the fold of each of the hearts so that they open up while you're looking at them, and they're just like 3-dimensional. And the only one that's going to lay flat is the red one. So I'm just going to hot glue them all on there. That is really all there is to this one. I put the piece back inside and it's gorgeous. I hope you guys like this one. So easy. Books coming out of my ears that I need to donate, and so I decided to use some of the book pages for a Trash to Treasure DIY, and so that's what I'm going to do. I've also got this old Yankee candle, and it cleaned it out, and I took off the label, and so that's another piece of trash I'm going to use. So I'm going to rip up some pages from the book, use my premium decoupage solution. It's not Mod Podge, but it is like Mod Podge, just not that brand, and I'm going to start applying it to the outside of this glass candle holder, and then I'm going to lay down the pieces until I've covered the entire thing. And it does take a little bit of time because I cut them up I rip them up into small pieces, but I love the look, and it's just going to be so cute when it's all done. totally worth it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm using a foam brush for this because it absorbs that decoupage solution, and it's just so easy to put it onto the glass and over the paper, because I'm going to be putting it under and over the paper to make sure it's completely stuck to this candle holder. I have all my book pages attached now to the candle holder, and I'm going to use a chippy brush, and I'm just going to dry brush some of the antique wax from Waverly over it. So basically dry brushing, get a little bit on your brush, wipe off most of it, and then apply the rest, just kind of drag it across your surface. And I'm also going to hit the edges and seams if there were any, harder, because that's where you would expect to see a little more of the antiquing. And actually when I say antiquing, I just mean wear and tear. I'm going to use a little bit of the faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree. It's the darker brown color, and I'm going to make a little handle for this. I'm only going to do one. I decided to make this asymmetrical, and I'm just going to hot glue and smush it down so you don't get any bumps or ripples. That's the one thing about using hot glue with these. Sometimes you can see little bumps. I'm being really careful about it. And I'm just going to hot glue that on there, even up a little bit higher to make sure it stays in place. Now, it's not a functional handle. It's just for looks only. Now, if you've watched my channel very much, you know I love these pop-up stickers. So I'm going to take 2 of them and leave them on the paper still, and I'm going to paint them black with some ink chalk paint. Then I'm going to take them off, put a dab of hot glue on the back, and attach them to the very bottom of that faux leather ribbon to make it look like little tacks. I don't want the paint to chip or peel, so I'm going to put a little bit of the decoupage solution over the little stickers, and I think that's going to help keep them nice and black. I decided that it needed a little bit more of like a distress look, so I took some of the antique wax and I painted the inside bottom so it would kind of show through and not look like clear glass. And then of course once I started that, I got a little carried away and I started, brushing around the lid and along the base. And anyway, I do like the way it turned out. I just can never leave well enough alone. Does anyone else have that problem, or just me? I decided to add some white flowers that I had from the Dollar Tree. They were so pretty. The only thing is they're so white, and I wondered, should I have put something not so bright in there? But then I thought, no, that's okay. And then I added a lily in the center, and I thought, isn't that just so sweet? You guys, I love this. Let me know what you think. Dollar Tree has these adorable stickers, and they actually have a little piece of like a sticky thing on the back to raise them up a little bit. And they use that golden white twine from Target, and then the book pages again. On this one, I'm going to use, I want to say, however many pages for each one of those stickers that was on that page. I'm going to use my paper cutter and just make sure the ends are all nice, and then I'm going to fold each piece of paper in half or book page in half and make sure there's writing on the side that's on the front. And there I've got enough for each of the stickers. And we're going to make a cute little banner. So what I'm going to do is see where the sticker will fall, and then I will make a little dot and take a straight edge of something to just cut the bottom of the banner and just draw the lines. And I'm just going to take my scissors and cut that out. That way each piece looks like a little banner piece. And I'll do that for every single one of the book pages. Now you use as many as you need for however many stickers or whatever you're going to put on it. So I'm literally just going to put one on each there. And then there's also a couple of like greenery pictures, and I'll put those on, they'll be on the 2 ends. Hey, if you haven't visited me over on social media, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Pinterest. I'd love to see you there. All my links are down in the description box. Come over and say hi. There we go. Now I'm just adding those little greenery pieces to the last 2, and I'll put those on the ends. And this is just, it's so cute. I don't know what it is about book pages, but they just have kind of like, I don't know if it's a romantic look or just a really like good feeling kind of look. What I'm going to do is lay them out the order I want them in. And then I'm going to take my twine and I'm going to open up, because I haven't glued them together, and put it right there and glue a little dot of glue right in the middle. and then I will close that piece of the banner and put a dot of hot glue right where that little, right there. I don't know what that's called. Anyway, I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to space them apart about an inch or so, and I'm going to do that with the whole thing. And then here we have this really beautiful looking banner, and you can tie a knot on each side, and you can make a slip knot to hang each end of it, where however long you need it to be. And that's how big it is, as you figure out the space you want to hang it in. Anyway, I absolutely love this one. I hope you love it too.
An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love.
I bought a couple packages of these little plant starters from the Dollar Tree. Got a book, of course, and I just was thinking, what could I do with these? So I put 2 together just to make it a little sturdier because they're super soft, but you get a lot for $1.25. I'm going to take my pencil and roll up a book page and hot glue the start of it, and then roll it all the way down while it's still on the pencil, and then I'll hot glue the very end of it. And then because I didn't glue it to the pencil, it just pulls right off. So I made as many of those as I would need to wrap around this plant starter. So now I'm going to kind of measure and see if, they're too tall. So I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to have one to start, and that'll be my guide for cutting all of the rest of them. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So there they are, and then I'm going to hot glue them to the sides. Now, because this thing is wider at the top than the bottom, they don't all lay perfectly, but I thought, that kind of adds to the charm. So I'm going to go with it. So some will be a little sideways, not sideways, a little tilted, angled, some will be straight up. But in the end, I really love the way it looks. So I'm going to just go ahead and hot glue them all the way around this little plant starter. You could do this with a jar. You could do this with another vase, whatever you want. See how it looks? And then I'm going to take my burnt umber paint, and I'm going to go over those top where I cut the books, or just where the book ends, and just do some dry brushing, and it gives it a little more rustic look, I think. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the bottom, but I'm also going to paint the bottom because it's sort of a terracotta color. I'm going to paint the whole thing with that brown burnt umber because the inside of the plant starter already is brown. So I figured that just makes it look like it belongs. Super easy. I mean, honestly, this is so easy. You don't even have to do it perfectly. That's the beauty of it. It has more character when you kind of don't make it perfect, I think. Now that it's all done and dried, I'm going to take these carnations and these evergreen picks I got on Amazon. I'm going to put a couple plastic bags inside to space it so it's not as deep. And I'm just going to place the flowers that I snipped off that pick right in there. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. It's good to do things in odd numbers, I've been told, so I'm trying to do that. And then I'm just going to add my 2 evergreen picks, and it's so cute, but I do want to make sure you can't see inside. So I'm going to take another one of those little garland picks that I was using before from Dollar Tree. I'm going to wrap it around the inside of that little plant starter, and then you will only see that and you can't see inside. And that just takes care of it. I didn't think like moss would look good in there this time because it's kind of a winter type thing, but I think this works perfectly. And look how cute that is, and it just looks beautiful.
An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love, the only kind of love. No need for presents.
This jar was just emptied out after we used something. You don't have to use a jar like that. You can buy a little thing at Dollar Tree, anything you want. It just needs to be see-through. That's the key. I'm going to take a piece of masking tape right through the center and just tape it all the way around, right there in the center or middle of that little jar. Once I have that on, I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I'm going to start laying it down on the top and bottom of that piece of tape. And I'm just going to start tearing up pieces of book pages until I cover both sides of that tape. And I'm just going to keep adding more Mod Podge and adding more pieces. And they can go any direction, any size, as long as they fit on those spaces. So there you go. And then I'm going to slowly tear off the tape. Add a bunch more Mod Podge to make sure that thing is really sealed. And I'm going to only put the Mod Podge over the book pages, and I realize it'll get on the glass. So I'm going to take my little scraper. You can use blade, whatever you have. It has to be sharp, and just scrape it all off. And there it is. And now I'm going to take some twine from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to put a little hot glue and start wrapping around the top where the threads of the jar are. And I just hot glue it every so often to make sure it stays in place. You don't have to hot glue every part of it, but just every so often. I'm going to do it all the way up to the top of the jar. Once that's done, then I'm going to make a cute little bow with multiple loops. So see what I'm doing? I'm just wrapping it around my fingers, and then I'll cut it off, and I leave tails on it. So I'm going to hold it in the middle. You see how I've got the tails? I'm going to hot glue the tails down. And then there I've got my little bow. I'm going to hot glue that right to the top of the jar where the twine is. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim my tails down just a little bit. I ordered these fairy lights on Amazon, and I'm going to put those in there. I also cut up a little winter pick just to get some greenery. Teeny little pieces, just put a couple on each side with the hot glue. I just felt like it needed a little color. And then I'm going to turn those lights on. They come with batteries. That's why I love them so much. And I'm going to place it right down in there. And it's so pretty. It would look so cute up on a shelf or on a tier tray or anywhere you want to put it.
An open heart when your world is a mess. That's the only kind of love. The only kind of love. No need for presents.
Super excited about this project. I'm using some book pages again, and I'm going to actually put it on a Cricut mat. And I went into Cricut Studio and I got some little butterfly shapes that would fit what I'm going to use them for. And I went ahead and I had them cut, and now I'm just weeding them out. And I'm going to take them off the mat. And then what I'm going to do is bend them all in the middle. So it kind of looks like the wings are flying, like when a butterfly's wings are up against each other. And then I'm going to add these pieces of what would be trash to a really small little wreath I got at Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue them on, but first I'm going to add some other things to the wreath. I have this really pretty flower pick that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to pull off some actual little flowers without the stems, and then some of those little green kind of berries. And then I found a couple different ribbons at Dollar Tree. One is a little thin polka dotted kind of a ribbon, and they're a little bit see-through, and then one is a pink, and they're just so pretty and light. And I didn't want to overpower the wreath with a lot of color because I want the butterflies to really be kind of the focal point, if you will. So I'm just wrapping the ribbon around, hot gluing it, kind of in a diagonal, and then I'm going to add the thinner one with the polka dots over the middle of the pink one just to give it a little bit of a layered look, and I'm really liking the way that's turning out. I had this little piece of burlap left over from a DIY in my last video, and I didn't want to waste it, so I decided to use it to make a hanger. I just cross it around itself and hot glue it to the back, and then secure it with another little piece of that same burlap, and then I'm going to have a nice little hanger for my wreath. And as I said before, I'm going to take the little flowers and some of those little green berries and just kind of randomly put them around the wreath. I don't want to go crazy. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, but just, intermittently with space between them all, I'm going to add them to the wreath just to give it some color and make it a little spring-like. I'm going to hot glue the little butterflies in various places. I want it to look like they just kind of landed wherever on the wreath. And I absolutely love them. I think with the words on them, it's just the sweetest thing. It's making me want to do more DIYs with book pages. I just think it's such a sweet touch. And I don't know, let me know what you think. I just love this. I've never done anything like this before, and I'm so happy with how it's turning out. My only regret is that I didn't make them bigger. Thank you so much for watching. You are truly a blessing to me. Let me know which one was your favorite today. And if you want to hang out a little bit more, I've got another video on the screen. If you click on that, I will see you there. Until next time, bye.